What is going on, Gridiron fans? I am the Gridiron Guy, and I am back with a new mock draft madness video. So, if you haven't been here before, click the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, let me know you like this video, so I can do future videos. Coming up, this is the last mock draft video I'm going to do where I just let the order be. Starting next week, I'm going to start doing some trades. Further on down the line, I will start doing a second round. Then I'll move on to second round with trades, so on and so forth, all the way leading up to the combine and the draft itself. So I'm really excited about the draft. I get excited about the draft. I love doing the draft. Mock drafts excite me. So hopefully you're just as excited. You clicked on the video to watch this. So let's get it going. Okay. I don't think this pick is going to change much over the next however months it is until the draft. Never know these days. Trevor Lawrence to the Jets. It also makes it a little hard to get creative with some of these drafts, but I promise you, I will get really creative later on in some of these drafts. Trevor Lawrence to the Jets. That's just probably going to be a lock until it happens. Okay. Everything else is open for interpretation. The New York Football Giants. Struggling on offense, lots of injuries, offense and defense, just struggling in general. They have a good, young, solid team. They just don't know how to win yet. They're figuring it out, though. Slowly but surely, I think you're going to see this team improve by the end of the year. They're already starting to improve, but they're going to improve by the end of the year, and they'll actually be something at the end of the year. I think they'll be somewhat competitive, especially with some of the teams in their division, which is the worst division in football. So, that being said, let's get them a little more help. There are some good edge rushers, especially on Washington football team. One thing they need is help on that offensive line still. I still think they can't afford to not grab an offensive lineman in the first two rounds this year. Again, even though they've done pretty well over the last 2 years of just throwing linemen at that line, hoping it sticks. But I think they get Penei Sewell. They can move Thomas to right tackle. Penei Sewell plays left tackle. They drafted Lemieux. They drafted a couple of guys on the inside there already. I think if they get Penei Sewell, it's done. They will finally have the offensive line they need to move forward. Being able to get Saquon yards and keeping Jones upright. It'll just get easier for them if they can get a guy like Penei Sewell. That's just what they have to do this year. All right, Jacksonville. I don't think they're totally sold on Gardner Minshew. I think they bring somebody in to compete with him, like Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is going to be playing in the playoff this year. If there is going to be playoffs in college football, I don't know, because the Big Ten is starting last week, and the ACC and some of these other conferences started 5-6 weeks ago. So at this point, I don't know if everybody can come together to have a playoff this year. Who knows? Everybody's kind of sticking to their own conference anyway. But I don't think college football can survive without having those bowl games. They get a lot of sponsorship money from that, so I don't think they can go without at least the playoff, let alone all those 30 or 40 bowl games that they have in January and December. So, I don't know if they can afford that. So, basically, I do think there will be a playoff this year. I haven't heard anything. I haven't read anything. I haven't even tried to. This actually just came to me just now. I was wondering how that's going to work. All right. The Falcons. Falcons could use a lot. They really could use a lot. It says quarterback on here. I really think their biggest need is edge rusher. Matt Ryan can play another 3-4 years. They don't need to think about quarterback right now. They need to think about their offense is pretty damn good. They need to think about actually stopping the other offense on the field. Because right now, they can't stop a nosebleed. They gave up another lead to the Lions. They just blew another lead. I think they've blown like 5 or 6 leads this year. I think every game they lost, they blew the lead. They need to be able to get after the opposing quarterback. They can put pressure on other offenses by scoring a lot of points, but they don't put any pressure on them defensively. Not at all. Gregory Rousseau. You need somebody who can get after the damn quarterback, for crying out loud. All right. Miami Dolphins. I think it's easy. Jamar Chase. Tua is starting now. Let's get him some weapons. It's not that he doesn't have any weapons, but you get him a guy like Jamar Chase, that could change a lot of things for him. Jamar Chase is going to be special in the NFL. He will be. Okay. So now, I've had a lot of people say that the Vikings... There was a guy that commented on my channel last week saying Vikings will take a quarterback. And I don't 100% disagree with that. I do think, at this point, the way Kirk Cousins is playing, quarterback is definitely on their radar. And if they're picking at number 6, they've already gotten rid of Yannick Ngakoue, who they just traded for him like 5-6 weeks ago. So it seems like the Vikings are starting to clean house. And I have a guy at my job who's a Vikings fan. He's saying trade everybody. Let's go get a quarterback. He wants Trevor Lawrence. That's not going to happen unless they trade a lot and they get that number 1 pick. But Trey Lance is a pretty damn good quarterback. And even if you have to hold on to Cousins for 1 more year and then unload him, Trey Lance is the perfect guy to take over that team. It's a good young team. They got a good running back. They do need some offensive line help down the line, either in free agency or this draft, for Trey Lance whenever he takes over. But this defense could be set up to recover and kind of become a reload team, kind of like the Seahawks did a few years ago. But this year they are going to go through some growing pains. It's already happening. This defense is young. When they start getting some of their players back healthy, things might change, but I don't see it out for them. They're going to have to take a quarterback. Might as well draft one. They don't draft very many quarterbacks. All right. Bengals. I say it. I've said it a couple times. They drafted Jonah Williams 2 years ago. They got their star quarterback. He's playing great. He's got good weapons there. He's got tons of weapons to throw to. And they even drafted him T. Higgins this past year. So he's got T. Higgins. He's got Boyd. John Ross, if you want to throw him in there. He's got speed. I mean, you can give him end arounds as long as you can hand him the ball instead of throw it to him. He can't catch a cold in January. But anyway, I think you just got to go offensive lineman. So I would say a tackle here, but Jonah Williams, I believe, was from Oklahoma. Why not draft Creed Humphrey from Oklahoma? He's an interior offensive lineman. He can play guard or center. So if you have a center already, whatever, if they draft a guy who can only play center, Creed Humphrey can always slide to guard. I think he fills any interior issues you may have. He'll fill a spot somewhere, and if you're drafting him at number 7 overall, you're going to play him. Okay, the Cowboys. Where do I start with the Cowboys? The Cowboys are just... I'm speechless. I'm not a big fan of the Cowboys. I don't really like the Cowboys at all, but it's embarrassing watching them try to go through this now. Patrick Surtain the second. This guy is climbing boards. He is climbing boards. I would not be surprised if he goes to the top 10. He's kind of past Caleb Farley a little bit, so I don't know. He's not. He's climbing. He's climbing. He's playing at Alabama. He's playing lights out. He's playing his butt off. So, all right, Washington football team. I think this is with the three quarterbacks already off the board. I think those are the only quarterbacks that are going to go this high. I don't really see any other quarterbacks getting into the top 10, at least not right now. Trask is out there. What's the kid's name from Alabama? There he is. Mac Jones. He might get up there. I don't see Jamie Newman. But Zach Wilson, Kyle Trask, Mac Jones, these guys might get into the first round, but right now they're 20 fringe type players. They're gonna go in the bottom half. They're gonna be somebody's backup for a year or two. They're not. Nobody's bringing them in to start right away. And although I do think that's kind of the case here in Washington, you have Kyle Allen, you have Alex Smith. These two guys could hold it down. I think they might be moving on from Dwayne Haskins. I don't think, Ron Rivera doesn't owe Dwayne Haskins a damn thing because he didn't draft him. I don't think Ron Rivera wants to keep Dwayne Haskins. He definitely doesn't want to play him at quarterback. He already benched him. So I think the Dwayne Haskins experience is over. I think they're going to be moving on from Dwayne Haskins, or he's just going to be riding the pine for a while. But whomever the quarterback is, they do need some offensive line help. They also need some wide receiver help. This team is bad at wide receiver. Outside of Terry McLaurin, they have no offensive weapons. Not really. So I say bring in a guy like Jalen Waddle. This guy's got some speed. I think Jalen Waddle got hurt this past week. It was either Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle. I can't remember which one, but one of them got hurt this week. Pretty bad injury. I don't remember what it was, but I'm pretty sure one of them got hurt. Doesn't matter though. They can rehab it. They'll be back for the draft. Won't matter. They're still going to go pretty high. Jalen Waddle to Washington football team. Okay, now I'm going to move along here. The LA Chargers. They draft Wyatt Davis. They need offensive line help. They have that good young quarterback down there. Herbert's playing pretty well. Surprisingly, everybody was crapping on him coming out of the draft. He shouldn't go top 10. He shouldn't be going number 6 overall. The Chargers is a bad place to go for him. Yada yada. Just everything under the sun you could think of. Justin Herbert's shut everybody up. Even early on when Tyrod Taylor got benched. Well, Tyrod Taylor got hurt, lost his job. Then they moved on to Justin Herbert, and now he's lost his job again. It just keeps happening to Tyrod Taylor. But even early on when people said, why are they doing this to Tyrod again? Well, look at Justin Herbert's put all those people to rest as well. He's shutting everybody up. All right. The Patriots. Patriots are in some deep doo-doo right now. They are in trouble. But I know one thing. Belichick loves to draft, and that's good tight ends. Kyle Pitts, Florida. Kid's playing lights out. So if you want a Grunk prototype, here he is. Just a big, physical tight end. All right. Broncos need offensive line help. They've needed offensive line help for a couple of years, but also that defense is getting kind of old. You know, Von Miller's in his 30s. Bradley Chubb's already in his mid-20s. You know, so you're looking at 4 or 5 years of his prime right now that he's coming into. You know, they have Jarrell Casey on the line. Like, Jarrell Casey's like 29. You know, this defense is starting to age a little bit, and they need an infusion of youth. And I think they go with a guy like Caleb Fairley. He's the perfect infusion of youth for them. Ooh. Okay, so the Panthers. This young defense that the Panthers drafted last year, they spent all their picks on defensive players last year. I think it was a good move. I mean, Derek Brown, you know, they already had Brian Burns. They bring in year two Gross Matos. So I think it worked out for them. One final piece, though. A guy like Micah Parsons. You bring in that replacement for Luke Kuechly. And in Micah Parsons, you know, that's a pretty good. He's not Luke Kuechly, but you bring in that middle linebacker. You know, Tahir Whitehead is definitely not their answer at middle linebacker. I'm a Raider fan. I can say that Tahir Whitehead cannot cover at all. He can't. So he's a great tackler against the run, but he can't cover anybody. Nobody. Not even anybody with one leg. A one-legged man he could not cover. He can't cover it all. Micah Parsons is a do-it-all linebacker. He will do it all. Okay. Miami Dolphins. Linebacker, interior offensive line. Safety. Alright, they already took their wide receiver. Would be cool to get him a second wide receiver, but they don't need that many. They don't need that much help. But, you know, I do think they go with a guy like Dylan Moses. Beast. Back-to-back linebackers. Okay. The Raiders are on the clock. Now, this is going to come down between Quincy Roche and Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson's more of a power rusher. The Raiders could use more of a speed rusher, a guy with more, technical with his hands. Aiden Hutchinson is mostly a power rusher / run stuffer, and we already have that in Clelin Ferrell. So I'm going to say Quincy Roche, more of a speed rusher. He's got some bend to him, get around the edge quick. That's what we need. We need another guy with some juice on that defensive line. Okay. Lions. Another thing. The Lions, Marvin Jones is older. Galloway's in his mid-20s. He's like 26, 27. He's not young. He's not super young. He is young, but he's not super young. I think they go with a guy like Rashad Bateman. They bring in a guy. They bring in some more weapons. Eventually, they're going to have to move on at quarterback. Might as well start supplying that future quarterback with some weapons. I love Matt Stafford, but I don't want to see him not be a Lion. I like Matthew Stafford, but wouldn't it be cool if Matthew Stafford went to the Vikings or something? Or to the Bears? The Lions can't let something like that happen. But if Matthew Stafford's a free agent, I don't see it not happening. But anyway, Rashad Bateman. San Francisco. Their team is pretty good. They've been banged up with a lot of injuries at running back this year. Good thing they have 7 or 8 of them. Anyway, moving on. I think they take a guy like Trey Smith. I mean, he's sitting here at 17. It's a good spot to take him. Offensive line. Build up the hog mollies. Okay. They love to run the ball anyway, so. Linebacker, quarterback, corner. You know what? This is probably one of those spots that I was talking about with quarterback. Yeah, I think so. I think they're going to go Kyle Trask. Saints go Kyle Trask. The Eagles. The Eagles. I got the perfect guy for the Eagles. Cameron McGrone. Climbing draft boards. Climbing draft boards. Okay. We have the Colts. Colts. You know, there could be, Zach Wilson. Also, Mac Jones. Mac Jones may find himself in the first round this year. Don't really think. I think there's like a fringe second, early third pick. Zach Wilson maybe, but I'm not ready to put him in the first round. I'm just not. So, I'm going to say Aiden Hutchinson. I know he's a first round pick. Alright, Jacksonville Jaguars. They took Justin Fields, their first pick of this round. This is their pick that they got from the Rams last year, I believe, for Jalen Ramsey. So, they got Henderson this year, C.J. Henderson. Why not take another guy and start working on that defense? They had Boye and Ramsey a few years ago. Now they'll have Wade and Henderson. 2 first-round corners. Okay. Call me crazy, but I think this offensive line for the Browns is pretty decent. So, I would go offensive line here. There's a couple of tackles, but I think they've done okay. I think their line is serviceable. One thing I do think they're going to need is probably a wide receiver, because I think Odell Beckham is probably done. Or they could go with a guy like Kwity Paye. Kwity Paye out of Michigan. This guy's got some bend. He can bend. I was watching some film today. He's got bend. Okay. You pair him with Myles Garrett. This is going to be an unstoppable pass rush. He is smaller than Myles Garrett, though. Myles Garrett's like 285. But this guy can bend for 277 pounds. He can bend. He looks smaller than 277 pounds, which is probably good. Probably wears the weight well, which means he could probably use gaining another 5 to 8 pounds. Get himself up to 285, where Myles Garrett is. Okay. Buccaneers. I don't know if the Buccaneers, they're going to have all these freaking wide receivers. They just signed Antonio Brown, who's probably going to play the slot on that team. He's probably just going to rip it up in the slot. Holy crap. Okay. I say they may not be able to keep Ndamukong Suh for a second year, especially there's a lot of mouths to feed, a lot of people to pay on that team. And I'm going to say Jay Tufele. Draft him, put him in Vita Vea next year. This guy's 315 pounds. He's basically the size of Ndamukong Suh. You know? Alright. Samuel Cosmi. Get the Bills some help. Now, I like Asante Samuel here. Especially, like I said in my last video, you draft a guy like Asante Samuel. You move. They got Tyrann Mathieu last year. You bring in Asante Samuel. You move Patrick P to free safety. Now you have a pretty damn good secondary. Jets. Yes. You know, whatever the need is, it's yes. They need everything. They need everything. This is a dilemma because their offensive line is not all that great. It's okay, but Sam Darnold's been running for his life this past year. I would like to see them go Alex Leatherwood right here, but with Devontae Smith and Rondale Moore right here, Trevor Lawrence is going to need somebody to throw to as well. You know? So let's get him some juice. Let's get him Devontae Smith. Okay. Well, let's go Rondale Moore to the Ravens. Rondale Moore is a speedster. That's what they need. You know, can also catch the ball. You know, he's not just a speedster. You know, catches the football real well. High points the ball. He'd be perfect on that team. The Tennessee Titans. I think, the Titans don't really need a ton. But if they took a guy like Jalen Twyman, they let Jarrell Casey walk. Well, they traded him away. But they let him go. You know, if they bring in another guy like Jalen Twyman, pair him with Justin Simmons, this defensive line is back on track. Not that it's not, but, the infusion of youth is always good on every team. Like, you get a good guy at a power position. Okay, I'm going to go crazy here. I think the Bears could actually take Mac Jones, Alabama quarterback. Another one goes in the first round, which is rare because, we haven't had Alabama be this good. They've always had great players, but their quarterbacks have never been this good. With Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones is actually, he's not a game manager. He's actually a playmaker. Okay, so the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think are going to take a wide receiver. They're not going to take a running back. Do think they might take a tackle, though. Alex Leatherwood. Green Bay Packers. The Packers like these weird names. So I think they're going to take... This is what they should have done. They should have taken a wide receiver. So Amon-Ra St. Brown to the Green Bay Packers. Not Jordan Love. I hated that pick for them. Okay. I say the Pittsburgh Steelers. Go. Well, they could go Jalen Mayfield, offensive tackle. That offensive line is getting old. They need defensive line. They would go with a guy like Tyler Shelvin. 362 pounds. That is a man. That's a Steeler. This guy would also be Daniel Falele. This guy is also 6'8", 400 pounds. That's a lot. That's a Steeler too. But I really think But I think they're going to go Jalen Mayfield. Jalen Mayfield to round things off. And they take the offensive tackle from Michigan. Okay, so fans, what do you think? Things crazy? I don't know. I enjoyed this one. It was different. They're always different. That's why we love doing mock drafts. But if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comments section below. What did you think? Did you like your pick that your team took? Did you not like it? What do you think? Let me know. I love the input. Love the feedback. So stay tuned for my future videos. I'm going to be doing a matchups video later this week. This video will be coming out Saturday. So actually the matchups video will be before that. So fans, what do you think? Do you think this video was pretty good? Did you like it? If you did, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to come back next week for my mock draft madness video. I'm going to start doing trades. So we'll do some trades in the first round. I don't know how many trades yet, but we'll do a couple of trades. And, give me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought. Did you like the pick that your team took or not? Do you think I should have done something different? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. And I am the Gridiron Guy, and I am out.